Hey everyone, this is Corine Lafon, your favorite radio host, your only radio host, and favorite girl, of course, broadcasting to you from the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean on Between the Lines. And you know how we do it here on Between the Lines, always with gratitude, always with thankfulness, whichever word you want to choose. I am thankful to be here. You may notice my surroundings is a little bit different. Yes, I'm in a different location. And so things are going to look a little bit different, but we'll get used to it, okay? And I have a lovely lady with me. That doesn't change. I only have lovely people with me. And her name is LaDonnia Cole, but we're going to call her Donna for short because LaDonnia may be a bit much to call her today. So we're going to talk to her as Donna today. And let me tell you a bit about her. Let me just grab her bio here. And she was born on the south side of Chicago. LaDonnia Cole, we're calling her Donna, is the youngest of two daughters whose parents were high school sweethearts. People still do those things. Oh my gosh. Donna is an author, Donna is an author, mentor, and public speaker who survived and overcame poverty, teen pregnancy, having a drug addicted mom, and witnessing her first love commit suicide. Growing up in the Chicago housing projects, Donna learned some of life's most valuable lessons and survival skills. She wants to share her journey with you, the young moms especially, to give you all encouragement and a ray of hope that everything will be okay. As the title of this episode suggests, it's not over. Welcome, Donna, to Between the Lines.
Thank you, Corine. I'm so happy to be here and share my story
It's
on your platform.
Yes, it's great to have you. The youngest of two daughters, and you survived all of this. This is crazy. It's not over. Why are we wanting to tell persons that it's not over?
Well, I want everyone to know that no matter what your current circumstances may be or whatever you're going through right now today, that doesn't constitute your future or your end all. You can make the necessary changes to prepare you forward so that you can have a brighter future.
Now, you know, Donna, at the time you're going through that, you're not thinking it's going to be bright. It's only when you cross over you realize that there's hope. But while you're in it, you're not thinking that. So take us through what you went through, your journey, as you said, that made you feel that there is light at the end of the tunnel, that there's hope. What made you feel that?
Well, it was my surroundings and a support system.
Mm-hmm.
So, growing up as a teen mom, the first initial shock of finding out that you're pregnant, you have all these different thoughts and a wave of emotions. And being pregnant is an experience within itself. But when you're so young and you're uneducated and you may not have the necessary tools that you need to prepare you for parenthood, then it impacts you that much more. And so the fact that I was able to have an amazing medical team at Rush Presbyterian Hospital on the west side of Chicago, and that team came along with a counselor and whole entire support system. And so they gave me the education that I needed to prepare me. I took parenting classes, Lamaze classes for birthing and everything. And so with that, I was able to, gain an understanding of what was to transpire and have that overall support group as well as with my family that came together to support as well. And so, yes, going through it, no, you cannot see the light always, but even if there's a glimmer or a flicker of hope in anyone that may be in your corner that you can talk to, then that's always a possibility.
So here's the question. At what age you got pregnant?
I was 13.
You know, I had 13 in my mind. I don't know why. I just figured she was going to say 13.
Yes,
13. What were you thinking, Donna? I'm coming to you as a mom.
I
What were
was a
you
baby with
thinking?
I was a baby with the baby, right? And so yes, and
What do
sometimes you
you
have
know?
your
What do you know about sex? Could you spell sex?
absolutely nothing.
Could you?
Absolutely nothing. I didn't learn until after the fact, right? Until after the act was already committed.
My word, what do you know about that? That you're playing around with fire, girl. You're playing.
Yes, yes, and that's exactly what happened. But sometimes God has a greater plan. With new life comes a blessing. Every life is
Oh,
a blessing.
yes.
And so with that, of course, I was able to grow up. I had to grow up very quickly and be
Quickly.
responsible and take care of my son. I had someone to think about outside of myself. So
At
that was always
13.
my driving force.
Donna, at 13, could you
Yes.
spell your name, Donna? Could you spell your name?
Yes.
I am like, what? I cannot imagine at 13 having a child. No
Yes.
education. People are already branding you, not in a good way. The
Hmm.
support, while it may be there, it may be limited while you're still
Hmm.
appreciated. But what really, I mean, teenage moms, help me to understand. Help me to understand what's going on.
Well, it was kind of a day by day process. I mean, again, like you said, even with the support, there's no instruction manual on parenthood. And so I found myself in prayer a lot, praying like for a force outside of myself to help me through that so that I can provide a life for myself and my son so that we could have something. And then I was always motivated and driven, so I knew I wanted to go to school, finish school, and I also wanted to work. I've always did both to support myself and my son. Um, so yeah, it's possible. It happened, and it was definitely a roller coaster ride of ups and downs. And just to watch him grow as I myself was growing, it's like we grew up together.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, I'm thinking that 13 and you have a child is like brother, sister going. What does he
Yeah.
say when he's walking? How old is he now? How old is he now?
So my son he's 26 now. He just had a birthday.
So hold on. So he's walking with you on the road, and guys are looking at both of you or looking at you, and they be like, "That's my sister. That's not my mom." What does he? What do people say when he says, "This is my mom," or he calls you mom?
Actually, yeah, he's always referred to me as mom, and it's probably the initial shock more so when he was a baby, but as he was growing up and walking and I was taking him to school, then yeah, we really never really encountered too much of that. It was more so when he was a baby, you can tell that I was really young with the little baby.
A little
So they
baby.
didn't really make two and two together as far as anyone approaching me on the street. They could have very well assumed that I was his sister taking him to school.
To school, yeah. I'm thinking. So I am like teenage moms, and we are saying it's not over. And we know it's not over because you are here, Donna. And
Yes.
I have encountered teenage moms. I have helped a teenage mom, and she's doing extremely well. And she has had twins, I think, after that, and her life is so well. So it's really not over. But what really makes it not over for somebody who is a teenage mom? And it doesn't even have to be becoming pregnant at an early age. It could be any sort of situation when you're young or even at a 20s, 30s that you feel, oh my God, it's over. There's no light. So what makes it not over? You mentioned you had the drive, you had the will. Some people don't have that. Some people, they don't have that support to push them, or they don't, they just feel that this is where I'm at and my circumstances, and some even end up being pregnant again. And people will watch them and say, you're not learning. You got pregnant at 13, you keep getting pregnant again and again. What? So, what exactly, or what in your experience made it not over for you?
Well, for me, it made it not over for me because there was always something within me that I knew I wanted to continue to push myself. And so, with that and the education and the support that I had, I knew um, to take contraceptives or take extra precautions so that I wouldn't be in a situation to make it twice as
Again.
hard by continuing to get pregnant when I wasn't prepared. So, again, Pregnancy and creating new life is a beautiful thing. However, you
Mm-hmm.
want to be in a situation to where you can provide for your child, yourself, and your family in a healthy manner. So I don't want anyone to be discouraged about having children if they want to have children. However,
Of
you
course.
should be prepared. And outside of pregnancy, anyone who might be in a current situation and they don't have that glimmer of hope,
Mm-hmm.
you have to believe in yourself. You have to have that self love and begin to heal. Go back and see what was those traumas and what
Yeah.
are the triggers. And once you begin to identify those things, then you can start to heal. And with that healing, you can also start to identify with your life purpose. And when you
Yeah.
walk in your purpose, then you start to have meaningful and you feel self value and self worth. So outside of having a support team, you have to learn how to love yourself. So if you don't have
Yes.
anybody else, start with yourself, self-care, self-love.
Yeah.
And that is the starting point that'll get you to have that glimmer of light and
Oh yeah.
that hope that we speak of.
Yeah. What are you telling your son as a teenage mom? He's 26 now. What are some of the lessons that you share with him? Because he's 26, he's an adult. Does he have children yet? Does he have children yet, Donna?
Yes, yes, he does. So I speak to him all the time about just life situations, things that I didn't get as I learned. I pass that information along to him, the importance of building something for himself in his future as far as just finances and
Mm-hmm.
credit, those things weren't taught to me. So
Mm-hmm.
I try to pass that information along to him so that he can
Yeah.
be resourceful for himself and his children, and to
Mm-hmm.
know, hey, the decisions that you make today is going to impact you tomorrow, and it's
Yeah.
okay to make a mistake, but you need to learn from that.
Learn from it.
Yes,
Yes.
and don't continue to make it a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
So yes, he is working and everything right now.
No, awesome. So hold on. You know what I just realized? You're actually a grandmother. You're
Yes,
actually
yes,
a you
yes.
cannot be walking around telling people you're a grandmother. That
I
is
know.
you cannot be doing that as a young mom. No, no. That,
I
no,
know they wouldn't believe me.
no, no, no. We're not going there today, Donna. We're not going there today. You cannot be telling people you're a grandmother. No way. And how many children does he have?
He has three.
What? No, you're past a grandmother. You
I
if
know he just had twins. They should be 8 months now. Yeah, so he had one son
If
and then he had a
no,
set
if
of
it was
twins.
one, you could get away with it. But he has three. It's like you're seasoned. You're properly
I know,
seasoned.
I know.
This is awesome. So hold on now. You mentioned your background with your parents being high school sweethearts, your mother being addicted to drugs. Do you think that had some sort of influence or impact on the decisions you made?
Of course, yes, because my mom was struggling with addiction at the time. So
Wow.
I was staying with other family members and relatives, and sometimes there wasn't always adult
Yeah.
supervision. And again, I wasn't given anything in regards to sex education as I was growing and developing
Yeah.
into a young teenager, a young woman. So when I experimented with that, then I didn't open up or share or ask questions. It just
Yeah.
happened. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, with my mom's absence, yeah, that definitely played a role in that.
Yeah. How can we mitigate against these things happening? I mean, we cannot control the circumstances that people find themselves in, the parents that they are born to, the circumstances that they grow up in. We can't change that. Yeah, that is what it is. But how can we assist persons? I guess through this podcast and sharing your ray of hope to persons listening, it gives them some sense of, yeah, it's really not over. I can still make it. But is there some way, or probably institutions, because I heard you mention you really started learning parenting when you went into the hospital, or when you were pregnant, while you're pregnant, the support you got from the hospital, the parenting, the classes and the Lamaze classes helped you to know what to prepare for, what to do when the baby came. And so you took it as a go. But we want to not wait for situations like that to happen, wait for when it happens to do something, even though probably that's how life throws it at us. Things happen and just we just deal with it. We cross that bridge as we get it. But if we could somehow soften that blow, is there some way we could soften that blow in our lives?
I would say information. Information is
Mm-hmm.
very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So preferably if it can come from the parents, if you cannot be naive to the fact that your children are going to find out about sex. So the age would be solely up to the parent. However, I think you have to arm them with the information as soon
Mm-hmm.
as possible, because if they don't hear about it from you, they're going to learn from their peers at school,
For
neighbors,
sure. For
other
sure.
children in a family that might
Yeah.
be introducing them to it. So it starts at home. You have to
Yeah.
give them the information. And if you give them the information and the resources and the tools, whether it's condoms or any type of contraceptive for a young girl, and allow them to make the decision on their own. If you give them the information, you will be
Yeah.
surprised. They may make the right decision and
They
sustain from
may.
the act altogether. But if you
Yeah.
don't have the conversation or tell them, then they can very well learn about it the wrong way, or just simply experiment. And then here comes
Yeah.
the pregnancy, and then just let them, again, know that self-worth, that self-value. You don't have to
Yeah.
give in to peer pressure. You don't have to feel pressured into that act. Wait until you're ready and when you
Yeah.
are responsible, because with that it comes a lot of responsibility, because there's always a possibility of pregnancy. So I
Donna,
think
you
that's a
know,
good starting point. And
Donna,
you can
you know,
also
you're absolutely right. Sorry for cutting you. You're
yeah.
absolutely right. However, we know back in the day, parents are
Mhm.
not even talking about sex,
No, they were not.
boys. They don't want to hear
They were
nothing
not.
about boys. They don't want
And
to
there you
know.
go. And this is what happened. This is when you get a 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old that's pregnant, because you're not talking about it. And even if you don't feel comfortable enough to talk about it, I think the schools are introducing it now. So that can also be a way. And then I know I attended one event in Chicago, McCormick Place, called the Black Woman Expo. And
Oh,
there
nice.
they had a a center for teenage girls to come in. They had guest panelists, speakers that was
Mm,
talking about certain things, even from female proper hygiene and things like that. Because
wow.
some
That.
females are not getting this information, and they're not even knowing how to properly take care of their hygiene as a woman.
Yes. Can you
So
imagine? We're in the 21st century, and this
yes,
is still something that people are thinking when they have a period they are going to die. They're going to bleed
yes,
to death. I'm like, what? Take me to the
yes,
hospital. I'm dying. I'm like,
yes.
no. you
So
know.
the exposure to information, you can't
What do you
prevent
think
the
is
act.
causing that? What do you think causes that sort of? Is it? It's coming from a fear, isn't that so, Donna? A
I
fear.
think so. It's a fear and then a stigma, behind it. And so,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
you have to make
but
them
that
aware.
fear, is coming from Donna. Some of these parents were also teenage parents, and they're afraid for the children to get
Yes,
pregnant, and so instead of them taking in front, as we say in the Caribbean, they hold back the information of their own
yes,
experience to prevent it because of their fears. But their fears become realized as a result of them not saying anything.
yes.
Yeah.
And then if you reflect back to even our history, ancient history was always oral tradition. So it's oral tradition. So it's like when a child reaches a certain age, you have to take them through those rites of passage. You have to give them the information and the tools that they need so that they can survive and thrive.
Wow. I see Sansan, the diva. Yes, there is only divas on this episode. Is saying she agrees with us. Thank you so much for your support. Yeah. Even fathers. Let's bring in the fathers here, Donna,
Mm,
are not having conversation with their boys, the young
yes.
men growing up in their care. about what it is to be a man, because I think sometimes even the fathers don't even know what it is to be a man. So how can they help
No,
them to be a man?
no. And
You
then we
know,
encounter them as women, right?
right? So I am like, who is really helping who here? How are we all doing this thing called parenting? How are we going to survive? This is like get up and just go with the flow. What is this? And
Yes,
is it then a situation of don't have children until you're prepared? But then at what point are you prepared? Because I'm telling you, as a seasoned parent of a 28-year-old and a 20-year-old boy, two boys, you're always learning. As a parent, I am still learning to be a parent, because as they age and as you age, things change, the environment
yes,
change, the
yes,
conversations change, and so you have to be very careful how you approach them, and the things that they may say. You might be shocked. You might actually want to scream when they tell you things, but you'll have to keep, like what they say, the poker face when they come to you with things. And you're like,
yes.
okay, keep it together. Keep it together. Don't really show your emotions because you have to keep it together. But you really want to scream. You really want to pick up the
Yes.
phone and call Donna and say, did you hear what this boy said to me? Is he crazy?
Yes.
You know, what is happening with us? I mean, we are
The
depending on the parents to guide us. What can we do, Donald? Listen, Donna. Open a school, a parenting school where we would learn and get a certificate and a degree. Help us out, Donna.
that would be nice. I would love to do that. But
Yeah,
it takes a village, actually. It does. It takes a village. It's a collective. And yes, like you mentioned, our children grow up and the times are constantly changing. And so it's at some point, sometimes the children become the teacher. And they're showing us how to use this new technology and how to navigate all of these different social sites and
yeah.
things like that. So you are always going to be a parent, no matter how old they get. They're going to
You
always
said
revert back and need
you
your advice or your assistance, and we can learn from them as well as continue to give them tools that they need to be successful with the age and our experience. We do have that wisdom, but as they grow and they are navigating life at a different time through a different lens, we can also learn from them as well. So it's never ending. It's always going to be a learning process. When we
of course,
become parents, there's no manual, there's no how-to manual, there's no instruction guide. So you can try to be as prepared as possible, but there's always going to be something that comes up that catches you off guard that
for
you're
sure,
not going to be prepared for. so
for
so
sure.
we're just learning as we go.
But here's the thing, you said something very significant. You said they are here to also teach us, and it is true. That is how I see children, you know.
Mhm.
Children, even though you give birth to them, that's all you do. You are a vessel to bring forth this other being. You don't
Mhm.
own them. You're not supposed to control them. They
Yes.
came into your life to teach us a lesson, to help us to be a better person. That is what
Yes.
they're here for. That is how
Yes.
I see it. People might dispute it because what tends to happen is that back in the, and still I say back in the day because it's a back in the day thinking. I am the mother, I am the parent, you have to
Mhm.
listen to me. So even if you have a 50-year-old, a 60-year-old child still, still existing, you still want to hover yourself over this person, thinking that I am the mother. Even if you're
Yes.
50, I'm not seeing you as an adult. You are
Mhm.
still the child. No, that is not how it works. What is your
Mhm.
thought on that?
I agree. I agree. That is not how it works. They're their own individual beings, and sometimes we have to let go a little bit to allow them to grow into who they are supposed to be because they have their own life destiny. They were put here for their own purpose, and they have to fulfill that. So you don't want to be so overbearing to where you smother them and you put their own light out, and they're not able to survive on their own without your assistance. And it can become a point to where you cripple them almost because they don't know how to survive on their own.
I like that. You cripple them. You cripple them. You have to let them go. Listen, how the birds do it? How the birds do it, Donna? The birds,
Yes.
they
Push them out
kick
of the
them
nest.
out. You better flap them wings. You better
Yes,
flap.
yes, you have
You
to
better.
fly.
They kick you out. Do you think the mother is thinking, oh my God, no, I can't. I can't push Donna out. No, get out.
Yes, they won't
Because
know what they can do until they actually try
Donna,
it.
you better flap those wings or else you end
Yeah.
up splat on the ground. Flap those wings. Donna, I have your website showing on the screen, as you can see. Tell me, what would you like me to feature there?
Okay, so what you have there is True Harmony Network, and it's a community outreach that I founded on the
Mm-hmm.
basis of reaching out to help teen moms. So, what I intend to do with that is take the resources and offer it to young moms, first
Mm-hmm.
time moms, and give them the necessities for themselves and their babies. So again, sometimes we forget that mom needs things as well as personal hygiene, different things for to take to the hospital for delivery,
Mm-hmm.
as well as what the baby may need. Of course, we're going to need diapers,
Mm-hmm.
bottles, clothing, blankets, especially in the Chicago area. It gets really cold. So you get into the snowsuits and different things like that. So my goal with True Harmony again is to provide educational resources as well as the necessities for mom and baby.
Okay. All right. So you have taken your situation and turned it into a business, offering
Yes,
it into support for young ones. Growing
yes.
beyond the garden. Tell us about that.
Growing Beyond the Garden is a memoir, and it tells my story and what it was like growing up on the south side of Chicago in the Bronzeville area. It
Wow.
also highlights some of the festivities that we did growing up, from the carnival to going skating every weekend. It's just we had a good time. So all of that good stuff is in there, and then it also touches on some of the communities were somewhat what we refer to as segregated. There's some things called redlining and things of that nature. If you know the history of major cities, you may be able to relate to that. If not, I touch on that a little bit. And so those housing projects that I grew up in is no longer there. They've been demolished. So I just wanted to tell my story and how I grew up in Chicago housing projects called Stay Gardens, as well as leave my reader with tools and resources in there. So no matter what you're going through, if you have someone who might be having drug addiction, if you're something in relating to eating disorder, suicidal thoughts, all of that is in that book.
Wow.
So if you yourself may not need it, it will make a great gift for someone else that maybe you can pass it on to. But there is something in there for everyone. But I wrote it for myself as well as to reach out to teen moms or a young one who might be going through some similar situations that I myself went through.
Awesome. That's what you're doing is absolutely awesome because very few people want to share or want to be vulnerable, Donna, to what they have been through. They want to keep it a secret, they want to hide. But that's the testimony that we need to share with others because
Yes,
I always say, we all have a story. Every
yes,
human being on this planet has a story. And if we share it, it might save a lot of lives. It might even save our life
yes,
because we realize, hey, I made mistakes, but it's not me alone. Hey, I made it through. And so I'm a survivor and a thriver. Hey, I could be a role model to somebody. My life has value and purpose. Hey, I could leave a legacy behind. I have a purpose on this planet. There's a legacy. People will remember my name, remember my footprint on this earth, in this time, in this space. Yeah?
yes. I agree. I agree. That's
Yeah.
most powerful. And that is
Why
my goal.
true? Why True Harmony? Why the name True Harmony?
Because when I think of harmony, I think of balance. And so again, it's like what you go through, yes, and you make it through that storm, and then you can compare and contrast and say, yes, I went through that, but it made me stronger, it made me wiser, and this is where I am now. So harmony is balance, and you want to always strive to have balance in life, in regardless to whatever you do. You don't want to
Yes.
overindulge in anything. Too much of anything can be detrimental. So
Yeah.
harmony, you want balance.
Yeah.
So that's what gave me true harmony. So stand in your truth, walk in your truth, and harmonize. True harmony.
Authenticity,
Yes,
authenticity, true
yes,
harmony, balance. I
yes.
love that balance in life. You have, I didn't meet you when you were 13, but you have definitely grown. You have definitely matured. You have
Thank
turned
you.
out to be a lovely young grandmother of three.
Thank you.
The
Thank you so much.
stories, the stories you have to tell those little ones, I can
Yes,
imagine. And they would be proud to say, that's my grandma. She still got it. She still
yes.
got it.
Still
Any final
growing.
any final words before we go?
If I can leave the audience with anything, I would say just hold on, just believe in yourself and grow through what you go through,
True.
meaning
Yes.
take it, learn from it. The L is not a loss, the L is a learning lesson, and use that to grow from it and take that experience and do better. Grow through what you go through.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Donna. Thank you
You're
for
welcome.
sharing your story, being vulnerable, accepting who you are, and knowing that you could turn it into something positive for someone else. True harmony. Thank you so much for being on Between the
You're
Lines.
welcome. Thank you for having me.